So okay, so in this you can just give host port number and use user phpMyAdmin database username, okay, and password, okay, and save forever, and giving the database name CSC department I have created, okay. CSC DEPT is my database name, and this is my URL, guys. Okay, based on this things you have supplied here, my URL is created. Okay, so after filling all these details, you should test the connection. Okay, so if you get this green tick here, my database is successful. It is connected to my WAMP server. Okay, so and it is saved here, guys. Okay, so if you are having any problem in connectivity, guys, the first thing is you want to check in drivers. Okay, you just go to this drivers MySQL. Okay, you want to check here in the connector. Okay, so in this connector, if you choose this connector, automatically the classes will get displayed here. I'm going to use this mysql.cj.jdbc driver class here, okay, for my application, okay, for my connectivity, and this is actually the advanced driver for the latest version, guys. Okay, you can also use the old versions mysql.jdbc.driver. This is also possible if you are using any old databases, okay, but try to update everything. Okay, so in previous executions we got MySQL error problems in the execution because we have old XAMPP servers and using old drivers. Okay, so that's why we have updated everything, and just click apply. Okay, we have everything is configured here. Just click apply and okay. Okay, so guys, here I am having a data sources which is listed. Inside this, if you click schemas, okay, whatever you have created in the MySQL, okay, phpMyAdmin, just I am getting into this. Okay, see, I am having phpMyAdmin, my WAMP server is here. Okay, so inside this I have created CSC department database. Okay, so inside that CSC department database I am having student table. Okay, so this is what get reflected. This same thing is reflected there in my IntelliJ platform. Okay, guys, and here you can confirm that the tables fields which is created in our database are same here, because using this IntelliJ itself we can create a table. Okay, just click on the database, okay, CSC department database, and click new, and you can create a table here. Okay, you can give the table name. You can give table name here. For example, we can give hostel details. Okay, and you can have a column. Okay, roll num integer. It is auto increment. It is primary key. Yes, if you execute this, yes, it will get created inside this. Yes, I am having hostel details table inside this. At the same time, after the creation here, you just go to the browser and refresh this CSC department database. Okay, you have another table here. Okay, you have another table which you have created in the IntelliJ database. Okay, so inside this I am only having a roll number. Okay, so if you want, you just create the fields whatever you want. You just click, okay, modify table. This modify table you can just have like entry, okay, entry time. Okay, choose date and time. Okay, and exit time. Okay, date time. Okay, so that's it. If you execute this, yes, the field is created here. At the same time, the field is also created in this WAMP phpMyAdmin. Okay, this is what the amazing beauty about this IntelliJ tool, guys. Okay, and from here you can insert the data. We are not going to do any manual thing here. Manually I'm not going to insert in data. Through the program only I'm going to insert the data, guys. Okay guys, so I'm just going to concentrate on this student table. This is how we can create the data sources, and inside the database I can create the tables. Okay guys, clear in this, right? Yes, any doubt in this? Okay, fine. So guys, the second thing, the main important thing after creating the project, okay, so right click on the root folder, okay, and click just add framework support. Okay, so I will show you in some other projects which have not added any framework support. Okay, I think I have sample 2 here. This is okay. So for example, I am having a project here. Right click and click add framework support. Okay, so here in this list you can have all the frameworks, JW frameworks, okay, Timeleaf, Spring, Groovy, Hibernate, okay, JW, Persistence, Kotlin, Maven, and everything, guys. Okay, so the thing is I need is Hibernate framework. If you click this, in right side I'm getting some options like create default Hibernate configuration and main class. This is very important thing, guys. Please remember, okay, at the time of adding the framework support, you should choose this create Hibernate configuration and main file. So you know what is the use of Hibernate configuration, right? In that configuration file, hibernate.cfg.xml file will get created and main class will created. Inside that main class only we have all the session factories. Inside the Hibernate configuration we have the configuration for all our databases and the mappings what we have done. Okay, so for example, inside the Hibernate configuration we have connection URLs and the dialects and username passwords of database, okay, which is available. This is very important. This configuration file will be given inside my session factory, and also the session factory objects wherever you are creating inside my Pojo classes are any Java classes. Okay, this is very important, guys. If you skip this step, this will not get generated. Manually you want to create the Hibernate configuration files, that will be a somewhat problem. Okay, so if you click this, automatically it will get generated with the basic tags. Okay, and if you give download and click OK, automatically the 18 jar files will be downloaded into library directory for Hibernate. Okay, so for all the supporting files and library files will get downloaded from internet. If you already have in your library, you can choose it. Okay, else if you don't have anything in your library, you can download it. Okay, if you click OK, automatically everything will get downloaded. The same step I have done here in this Covey app, guys. Okay, so after this I am having a library here. Okay, so in this library I am having Hibernate comments, annotations, and Hibernate core. This is what you should have, and all other support files. Okay, clear. And inside the, so this is how it will be. Okay, this is how it will be. I am having the Hibernate configuration and main class here. Okay, this is actually the main class. Inside this I am having a session factory. Okay, so guys, this is the two file which will created after adding the framework support. Okay, for the main class and Hibernate cfg.xml. Okay, so the main class, see inside this I am having all configurations for my session factories. Okay, so you know that the session factory is going to handle everything, whatever the configurations is given inside the Hibernate. Okay, so that will be carried out by session factory, and using the session variable we can access it, and using that session we can do all the transactions whatever we want to do to the database. Okay, that will happen here. Okay, and inside the Hibernate configuration we don't get any URLs like this, guys. Okay, we by default we will get the sample tags, okay, like property name, dialect, and property name, connection URL. That's it. You don't have any connection URLs in that. Okay, manually you want to copy the connection URLs from your database configured here. Okay, so from there you can just copy. Okay, you just right click here. Okay, right click this and go to properties. Okay, here I am having an URL. Okay, just copy this URL. Okay, and you can paste the URL here. Okay, and the driver classes, this is also important. Okay, so I'm using in the driver window, you have seen the classes, the driver classes, whatever the classes I'm using, right? com.mysql.cj.jdbc drivers. Yes, so it is showing some errors. Okay, we'll fix it. I will tell you why this error is showing here. Okay, I will tell you how to fix this. Okay, these are all the basic troubleshootings when we are configuring the Hibernate and MySQL, guys. Okay, this will happen for everyone. Okay, so writing a Java code is very easier thing, but configuring this Hibernate or any frameworks is somewhat tricky if you are a beginner. Okay, that's why I'm repeating this. Okay, so and I'm having connection username and password. Okay, so everything will be there in my configuration file. Okay, guys, so guys, to resolve this, okay, so it is saying that if you click on this create class com.mysql cj, it is mean that this class is not detected by this Covey app. So the thing what should I do is I should import the jar file to my Covey app project. Okay, so what should I do? Click on this root folder. Okay, and choose this open module setting. Okay, so in this I am having a library. Just check whether the MySQL connector is available or not. Okay, if that is not available, guys, it will show an error. Okay, so to resolve it, just click this plus symbol and click Java. Okay, you need to choose, you just guys download the MySQL connector from internet and have it in your folder. Okay, just guys go to this download. I am having my connector, Java connector, MySQL connector inside my downloads folder. Inside this I am having MySQL connector Java. Okay, so just click this, choose this, click OK. Yes, it is asking library MySQL connector will be added to the selected modules. Okay, just add to Covey app. Okay, just click OK. I am having it here, the classes, MySQL connector classes here. Okay, yes, click apply, click OK. See, now it is normal. I don't get any error now. This is how, guys, you can add the jar files. If you are getting any errors like this, you can add and resolve the problems like this. Okay, guys, clear? So now the main class is ready and Hibernate configuration is ready. After configuring the hibernate.cfg, guys, what you should do is just close this Hibernate and replace the Hibernate file inside my resource file. Okay, that is very important. At the time of execution, this server will check the resources file for my Hibernate. Okay, this should be inside my resources. Okay, that is the main thing you want to replace it. At the time of adding the framework support, the Hibernate config will get created inside my Java folder. Okay, the main file and Hibernate configuration both will created inside my Java folder. Okay, what you do is in the beginning itself you can just replace that Hibernate config file to resource folder. Okay, and then you can also write everything. Okay, now I have replaced this inside my resources folder, guys. Now the second step after replacing it, you should go to a main file and you should give the configurations where I have done the configurations. Okay, inside my Hibernate CFG you should mention that file name. Okay, inside the Hibernate, okay, .cfg.xml. okay, inside this I have done all the configurations, so I am supplying that configuration details to my session factories. Okay, so I have done everything inside my main and configuration. After doing this, guys, just execute this main file. Okay, just run this. Yes, the first thing you want to do is you should run the main file to check whether any error is there or not. Okay, now it is getting compiled and parsing the Java and adding the annotations. Everything will happen. Okay, yes, the username and password supplied here to the connection. So yes, fine guys, if you don't get any error codes, the process finished with exit code 0, you don't have any error up to this. Okay, so everything is perfect guys. Okay, the main is working successfully. Next, what you want to do is you can create your Pojo classes. Okay, so this is actually my Pojo classes. Okay, inside the Pojo class you should mention the table name and the map the column with your variable. Okay, in the NetBeans what we have done is using the Hibernate mapping file, we have a separate file, XML file. In that XML file we are mapping all the variables to our database columns. Okay, but here guys we are not going to use any separate mapping file in this IntelliJ. Okay guys, clear? Any doubt up to this? Any doubt in this? Yes guys, in this Pojo class, okay, this is actually my Pojo class. Inside this Pojo class I am having constructor, getter and setter methods, as you know already. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just creating the variable, okay, int id, int name, string name and int mobile. Okay, so in this id I am going to get the roll number guys. Okay, this id is mapped to my database column roll number. Okay, so this is actually called annotations. In the first topic, in our subject first topic, we have seen what is annotations, right? Yes, using this annotations we can directly map this to my database using the ORM, object relational mapping concept. We can do this. Okay, so at column name equal to roll number, this roll number column is here inside my student table. Okay, so you can just refer in the right side itself. You don't get any chance to do any mistakes guys. Okay, and the name also, the name is going to map with the stu name. Okay, inside the column which is available inside my students. Okay, and the mobile number I am going to map with the stu mobile, okay, which is inside my database. Okay, so all done. You can create the parameterized constructor and default constructor if you want. Okay, the parameterized constructor is very important because I am going to send the value for this student name and the student mobile only, because the roll number is auto generated I have given here. Okay, I am not going to supply any value from this. If you didn't give any auto generated, you can also add this roll number inside your constructor. Okay, you can give your own roll numbers. Okay, customized roll numbers. For example, you people have 18 EUCS 001, right? If it is that, you can put it in a varchar and you can give it. Okay, no auto increment is given for that kind of roll numbers. Okay, I am just giving 1 2 3 as my roll number, so I have chosen that as auto increment and it is a primary key for my student table. Okay, because I am going to use this roll number as a primary key for everything, and also another table it is going to refer as a foreign key. Okay, that is very important. After creating this constructor guys, okay, I am just mentioning here. Okay, this is a constructor. Okay, this is a parameterized constructor, and this is empty constructor. Okay, this is empty constructor. Okay, and guys, after that you people have a getter and setter method. Okay, getter, this is setter. Okay, so get name, set name, get mobile, set mobile, and at last I am having a toString method. This toString method you can call and print everything. Okay, so if you call this toString method inside SOP system.out.println, you can print this ID, name and mobile number guys. Okay, that's it. The configuration is done in the Pojo classes. Okay, so you have in number of fields, you want to configure all the fields inside your Pojo classes guys. Next I am just going to insert a data. For that I am going to create another class which is insert data. Okay, so I'm just going to create it. For this I need an package like import r.hibernate.session. okay, that is needed. Okay, and then I need a configuration. Sorry, I need a configuration. Like org.hibernate.cfg.configuration, and I need session factory. Okay, just import org.hibernate.session factory. Okay, these are all the things I am going to perform inside this. And guys, inside the class, okay, I can create a public static void main string args. Okay, so inside this, guys, I am going to create an object for session factory. Session factory, just have factory equal to new configuration. Okay, just I am having, yes, configuration. Okay, so in this you want to send the configuration file. Like I have configured everything inside my Hibernate configuration, hibernate.cfg.xml. okay, and another thing is I want to add the annotate class. Okay, add annotated class. Okay, I'm having annotated class which is my Pojo class. Okay, which is my login.java. It is not responding, please wait. Guys, are you clear up to this? Any doubt in this, guys? Yeah, inside this I am having login dot class, and then I want to build this session factory. Okay, build a session factory. That's it for my session factory, and I need to create the session variable. Okay, session equal to new factory dot get current session. Okay, get current session. That's it. Get current session. Yes, that's it. Oh, it is showing error. Okay, fine, we'll clear it, not a problem. Okay, and inside you just open this try, and I can have finally. Okay, so inside this try I am just going to create an object for my login class. Okay, login is my Pojo class, guys. For that Pojo class only I want to send the data. Okay, login data equal to new login. Okay, so inside this bracket, if you give any value like Lokesh comma, see, it is automatically showing the label. Okay, I'm just going to give the mobile number. See, if you give a value like this will be passed to my constructor. Okay, and that constructor will initialize the value to my name and mobile number. Okay, so this will get mapped to my database, and this data will get sent to a database and stored in the table. Okay, so this is also one method. And the another method is you can directly call the setter method, login data dot set name. Inside this set name you can give Logesh, and you can also call login data dot set mobile. Okay, so this is also possible, guys. Okay, in this case you just remove this. Okay, that's it. So next what I want to do, I have given the data. Next, using this session I want to begin the transaction. Okay, so begin transaction. Next I want to save this session dot save. Okay, using that login data. Okay, I want to save this login data, and I want to commit this transaction dot get transaction dot commit. Okay, transaction dot commit, and finally I want to print everything, like using the system dot out dot println. Okay, you just print that login data. Okay, if you print that object, it will print whatever the thing is passed to the database. Okay, that's it. Finally you can close everything, like I want to close the factory. Okay, I want to close factory, and I want to close the session. Okay, that's all, guys, about this insert data. I think why it is showing error.
Sir, remove that new keyboard, sir.
Yes,
Remove the new keyboard, sir. New.
oh sorry, fine, thank you, man. Okay, so now everything is fine, guys. Okay, I am just going to execute this. Yes, guys, it is getting executed. Yeah, the username and password is supplied. So far I don't have any error. Yes, successful. Yes, the exit code is 0, so that you don't have any error. Guys, if you see this, the query is generated to insert data, insert into student. Okay, so I am having the values here. Okay, ID equal to 0, name, Logesh, okay, mobile, and everything is here. Okay, so everything is inserted here. Okay, guys, clear? Yes, guys, clear? So just double click on this student table. Okay, it will display the values. See here, I am having Logesh and mobile number. Yes, this is inserted just now. Okay, so if you get into this browser, in this, just click on this CSC department. Okay, I am having student. See, in this I am having Logesh. Okay, so this is how you can perform the insert operation this using this IntelliJ IDE, guys. Any doubt on this? Guys, any doubt up to this? Any doubt, guys? And the another thing, at the runtime, if you want to get the input, it is also possible using the scanner in this Java. You can create scanner in equal to new scanner of system.in. Okay, so I am just saying the user to enter enter student name and mobile. Okay, so now I can have a variable, okay, like string name equal to in dot next, okay, and int mobile equal to in dot next int. Okay, and what you want to do is you can just delete this, you just pass the name and mobile here. Okay, that's it guys. This is also possible. You can also call that setter method also. Okay, inside that set name you can pass the name here also. This is also possible. Okay, this is also possible. You can do any one method, okay, at a time. This data will be passed to my login class constructor, okay, and then initializes to that student name and mobile inside my constructor. Okay, so if we call this automatically call the set name method, okay, and the value passed to set name, because inside this getter and setter I am having, in this set name I am having a string name. Okay, this will get passed and the value is assigned to this name. Okay, so you can also do both the methods. Okay, I'm just going to try the value passing to the constructor. I'm just going to run this now. Okay, I'm just executing this. So I think I don't have any error. See, it is asking me to enter student name and mobile number. Okay, so I just can enter Kumaresan, okay, and mobile number. See, it is inserted. I don't have any error code here. The code is 0. Okay, the value is inserted. To check this, you just click on this student. See, I am having Kumaresan and mobile number here, okay, in the database. You can also cross check with this. Okay, if you just get into the browser and refresh it. Okay, I am having a data here. See, 10 Kumaresan and mobile number. Guys, this is all about how we can configure the Hibernate in our Java application. Okay, so and how to configure the database in this, how to write a Pojo classes, okay, and writing the insert data Java class. Okay guys, any doubt in this? Yes, if you have any doubt, please tell me, I will repeat this.